honestly, from your storyline, there's so much of lesson objectives, honestly.
Yes.
And there's so much of spirituality. That's divine hands actually pushing the buttons.
Of course.
Yeah, sir, I want to also find out, because today you are a successful farmer. That's another part to your story, you know, and you, by special grace of God, you have one of the biggest farms in Delta State today. I don't, from your storyline, I've not actually seen any stain of agriculture. So what's really the connection?
Yeah, I thank you very much for this very brilliant question, Marcus. You know, I didn't just, it's something I always tell my children, that when you are engaged on a job or any assignment, try to avoid procrastination, do it on record time, and when you finish it on record time, don't waste the time that you have. Use that time to do something else that will add value to your life. While working between Rock Cement and NDDC, while working, I managed to enroll for school to do master's degree, also do a DBA online, and also managed to go for trainings to develop myself. And my delving into agriculture is a divine revelation. Actually, sometime in 2012, I had worked in NDDC for about 10 years. And while before I started working in NDDC, I already had a company called MPEC Engineering, which I registered.
Okay.
While I was in the private sector, I was doing investments with the company, doing some installation work, some construction work. And then when in 2012, I was asleep and I had a dream. In the dream, I was with my elder brother, the same blessing.
Okay, he was still alive then?
He was still alive.
Okay.
He died in 2013. And then when I had that dream, an old man came and told me that we needed, myself and Blessing were having a conversation when the old man, I only called him old because all his hair in the picture I saw in the dream was gray. But he had a very pleasant face, pleasant look, but everything about him was gray. So he said that he needs to show us somewhere. Come. That was his line. And in the dream, we followed him, and we were on a hill, and he showed us a plane. Myself and my brother were standing, and he said, look at it, go and walk it. And where I was looking at was a flat land, all green. So what is the meaning of this? And then I was telling Blessing in the dream, let's go there now. And then suddenly we didn't see the man again. And then I woke up from the dream. Now, Blessing studied agriculture. He actually studied agronomy from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. And me, I studied electrical engineering. So, and I'm a Christian, and I've read the Bible enough, and I know when something comes from God. I knew this was an inspiration from God, but I thought it was from my brother, since he studied agriculture. So I told him, I actually went to Sapele from Port Harcourt that weekend to tell him of this dream, and that you should farm, you should continue to farm, forget politics, because he was into politics. And he said, okay, we'll farm. Unfortunately, by 2013 November, Blessing died. Okay. Very sad, and I'm yet to get over that death, almost 10 years after. But why I went into agriculture is this. We buried Blessing in December 2013. And the stress was too much for me. I became ill, and I went to Dubai. So for our usual yearly medicals, I was even admitted in the hospital. I was there for about 9 days. On the eve of my departure from Dubai to Nigeria, that was January 2014, I had dysentery.
That same dream.
That same dream. This time, blessing had died. And I asked, why would I have this dream again if this dream was for him?
For him, yeah.
But he has died. Then I knew that dream was for me. That, as soon as I came back, I registered that company, NPEC Farms Limited, in 2014.
Wow.
The rest...
Story, wow.
So you see, it was an inspiration from God.
Sure.
And I have a regret in my engagement with agriculture. The regret is, why didn't I start it earlier?
Earlier. Wow. It's quite amazing again. More like your life is just an orchestration, you know, from God. A plan that has been handed over to you, and you are just following it as planned by God. That's really interesting. Then recently, you also established an egg flour company, egg powder company, where they manufacture egg flour. You know, and that happens to be perhaps the second in Nigeria, functional egg flour company in Nigeria. I learned one is in Ogun State. Yeah, that's a wonderful and amazing project, considering its impact on society. What inspired you into that too?
Okay, you know, I talked about self-development.
Okay.
That was in 2014.
Okay.
And I did a course on entrepreneurship. And when I finished that course, I came back. I learned something from that course, which was adding value to anything you produce.
Okay.
If you would be successful as an entrepreneur, don't just produce, but make sure you add value to whatever it is you produce. For instance, if you are a farmer and you are cultivating yam, instead of you to sell yam, why don't you make it into yam flour? When you convert yam to yam flour, you have added value. Okay, so when I started my engagement with agriculture, I started with the poultry. Okay, because I took time to engage a consultant to do feasibility studies for me on which area of agriculture would be best for me, considering the kind of work that I was doing. And I opted for, when I studied the report is submitted to me, you see, I'm a deliberate person. You need to know, I'm not somebody who does things by chance.
Yeah.
Maybe it's my training as an engineer. I'm a process-driven person. I plan before I act. So when I decided to go into farming, the first thing I did was to register the company to make it legal.
Okay.
And then, since something I've not done before, I engaged a consultant. I want to go into farming. Tell me about farming. And they gave me reports, huge reports. And I took time to study the report. And I decided to go into poultry farming. Why? I found out that the cheapest source of protein is the egg. Just egg. If a growing child, when we grew up, we were malnourished. I was malnourished. Okay? I had all forms of ailments because we're not fed properly. We lacked too much.
Okay.
But I also know that a lot of Africans are malnourished. The reason is they lack protein. And I also found in my research that if a child can eat one egg in a day, it gets the required protein his body needs for development. And so I decided to go into egg farming. And when I started the poultry, it was small. It was 2,000 beds. And so we're producing maybe like 50 crates, 30, 40.
Daily?
Daily.
Okay.
And then every weekend, most weekends I would be at the farm. And I would see why they were picking the eggs for sale. The people who would buy the eggs were waiting. In fact, as soon as the eggs are picked, and then when they knew that I was the owner of the farm, they started coming to complain to me, say, Oga, please tell them they promised to give me 10 crates. They only gave me 4. Even Marcus, you know, they only gave me 4.
Yeah.
Oga, I need 10, I need 15.
Sure.
So the market is there. So if I can produce 100 crates, there were people to buy it.
Sure.
And so we started increasing the output. And at the time when we were producing 200 crates, Marcus came to complain to me that they promised him 50 crates, they only gave him 30. You know? So I found out that, yes, we started producing eggs. It was good. We were able to expand. But I remembered what I was taught at Cambridge. What value am I adding to the eggs? I needed to add value. So I went on research, and I found out in my research in 2019 that Nigeria was spending, as at September 2019, between January and September, Nigeria had spent $1 billion in importing egg powder from India.
Wow.
I said, what does it take to produce this egg powder? Nothing. You just break the egg, pasteurize it, mix it properly, send it to a dryer, and it comes out as powder. Now the question is, a lot of people don't even know what egg powder is used for. But they eat cake every day. They eat Indomie every day, noodles.
Sure.
They eat, they take baby food to feed their children. All those products cannot be made without egg powder.
So what stage is the company right now?
So right now, we got a loan from CBN, okay. And I give kudos to CBN, the Agric program. We benefited from it. It took us a long time, but we eventually got the loan. And it was with the aid of the loan, we were able to import the machinery for the egg powder from China. And as we speak today, we have done the first test run, we have done the second test run, and we actually even have a jingle out there in the market. The only thing why we can't produce right now is that we are waiting for the number from NAFDAC
certification.
Okay? Now we are set. CBN had come to inspect. NAFDAC had come to inspect. They are very pleased with it. I have some of samples in my car of the egg powder.
That's great.
Now, the egg powder will cause, by its grace, a revolution in the agric industry.
That's good to know.
Because, you see, in the whole of Delta State, in the whole of South, we don't have any plants like that. We have actually only one functional egg powder making plant in Ogun State. And that feeds only one customer. Companies like Nestle, Cadbury and all that, they require egg powder.
Sure.
Okay, so this is going to be the only functional one, at least for now, in the whole of South.
That's interesting and good to know, because one can...
And I give kudos to CBN for finding us worthy to assist us with that loan. No, it's not as if they funded everything. It was equity. We funded part and they funded more part of it.
So recently, sir, you launched a program in your foundation, that's MPEC Foundation. And this program was actually designed, or is actually designed to help indigent students, those in professional courses in universities, to graduate, as in to have a smooth ride in their education. So many students have benefited from this. We have videos to show for this. And what really inspired you to do that?
Hello everyone, my name is Engr Dr my friend. I'm a 500 level of student of Delta State University, Holy Campus. While I was in 200 level, I got the MPEC scholarship / foundation through the Urugu Progressive Youth Association, UPIA. May God bless you guys. I've just been paid the last batch of my scholarship award. I want to especially thank the CEO of the MPEC scholarship, in the person of Engr Dr Emmanuel Audu-Ohwavborua. I want to say, sir, I am very grateful. May God bless you. May God uplift you for this kind gesture towards me and my education. I love you and may God bless you. Mingo, sir. Mingo, sir. Mingo, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
I'm a 500 level student in the Department of Nutrition Science, Delta State University, Abraka. I got the MPEC scholarship in the year 2018 when I was in my second year, and I've been receiving the sum of 270,000 naira for each academic year. I just received the final tranche of the scholarship, I want to use the opportunity to thank the founder of NPEC Foundation, Dr. Emmanuel Audu-Ohwavborua, for this privilege and opportunity. The scholarship have granted me huge relief in my academics. I also want to use this opportunity to thank the Opia family for what they stand for and for their impact to humanity. Thank you.
Hello dear, my name is Rachel Edegwari Oganitinga. I am from Agbaruto, but I stay in Abraka with my mom. I school at the Delta State University, Abraka. In my final year, 500 level to be precise, Faculty of Pharmacy, Department of Pharmacy. I actually learned about the NPEC Foundation Scholarship for UPIA, meaning Urobo Progressive Youth Association, in the year 2019. I just finished my first year in pharmacy, was in second year, first semester, when I got a notice of this scholarship examinations. After that, we did the interview and I got the scholarship. I'm actually doing this to show appreciation first and foremost to God Almighty, because I never believed this kind of help, this kind of financial help actually existed, not even in Nigeria that we are, but God used Engineer Emmanuel Audu-Ohwavborua and Mr. Ikure Marcos, Mr. Dara Moses, who is in the Department of English and Linguistics. They actually help in the coordination of the examination and the interview. I really thank them so much for their effort, even them making sure that we actually receive it each section. Then I want to thank Engineer Emmanuel Audu-Ohwavborua for his support, for creating this kind of initiative and still sticking to it to the end. I want to say, may God bless you on behalf of myself and my mom and the others that have benefited from this as well. We're saying a big thank you. May God continue to bless you. May He continue to replenish your pocket. Thank you so much. Upia, you are amazing and you did a great work. I'm so grateful because till the very end of pharmacy, I still got the financial assistance. May God continue to make ways, even in ways that you don't even expect. May God continue to be there for you and for your families. Amen. Thank you.
I'm happy for one thing, that you are the one conducting this interview.
Yes.
Because you were at the very beginning of the scholarship program. It's actually NPEC Educational Foundation. I set it up in 2018. So I suffered lack while I was in school, both secondary and university. And I managed to come out, and I know what it means to lack. I know how students feel when their fees are not paid. And you know, the other side of me, which is something I've always preached in NDDC, that NDDC has afforded me a platform to be able to reach out to more people, communities, attract projects to them, development, empowerment programs and all of that. But that is NDDC, that is my job. But my own work is part of it is to ensure that young people who have the talent, who have what it takes to be educated, but lack finances, those that you call indigent students, I feel we owe it to them to support them. And right from my days in Lagos, when I started working and my salary was 3,000 in a month, I gave part of that out to people who could not afford to go to school. And so when it came to a point where I felt, no, you have to believe God to support people more, I decided to do this foundation. It's an educational foundation, and it started in 2018. And thank God you were involved with some professors in the university, you know, set questions to determine those who actually qualified for. All those processes were done, and selected then 24 indigent students that had GPAs that were in the first class range. And I'm happy 4 years down the line, in fact, their GPAs kept getting better.
Of course.
Okay, and I'm sure most of them will graduate with first class. And so, philanthropy for me is a way of life. It's something I feel any person God has blessed should do. You may not have the means to sponsor somebody to university, but even if it's a textbook you can buy, okay? I didn't stop there. I was inspired over the period of my work. My job in NDDC exposed me to the Niger Delta region. I was born in the Niger Delta region. I've worked in the Niger Delta region. I see the region as a blessed region, but a region that has been, I don't want to use very strong terms, but the Niger Deltas have been dehumanized.
And deprived.
Okay, so deprivation is what I say, we have been dehumanized. And the ills I found in the region provoked me, inspired me to write a book.
Yes, I was
Okay.
actually coming to that.
I wrote this book in 2020. I started writing this book in 2017. It took me 3 years of my life to write this book. I titled it Real Enemies of the Niger Delta.
Oh, interesting book.
Now, this book, the first 1,000 copies we printed, we sold all. And we've not launched it. We're planning for the launching. And I just reprinted another 1,000.
Wow.
I dedicated the proceeds. This book, one copy cost me 8,960 naira to produce.
It's a powerful print.
And
Quality
the book
print.
is being sold for 10,000. And the profit of this book goes into the Scholarship Foundation.
Wow, that's amazing.
The whole idea is to help people to achieve their purpose in life, God's purpose in life. And I have told people who work, and people who care to listen, that some people feel this job they do is their purpose. It's not necessarily.
Exactly.
Your job can actually lead you to your purpose in some cases, but mostly your purpose is driven by your work. Your work is different from your job.
That's true.
Okay? The job, I come here 8 o'clock, I leave here 5 o'clock. But my work starts when I leave here. 5 o'clock, by 2 a.m. I've woken up most times. And I am working. God deposited in us gifts that we will use to affect humanity positively. We are over 7 billion people on the planet.
Sure.
Everyone God delicately made. That's what the Bible says. God took time to make us. And there is no one soul living on earth that God did not put a gift in.
Wow.
And all it takes for humans to succeed, and I want young people to really note this, is for you to go inside of you, because your future is right inside of you. To go inside of you and identify that thing that is unique to you that God put in you.
Wow, interesting. I was actually coming there, as your final remarks or final advice to young people out there.
Yes.
But shortly before we conclude on this edition, I want to ask, do you have any interests in politics, maybe the nearest future?
You see, politics, we are all political beings.
Sure.
People say, I'm not a politician. Yes, you may not be a professional politician, but there is politics in every man. I have politics in me. I want to be governed well. I want to have access to social security. I want to have access to the things the Constitution guarantees.
Okay.
And the only way that can happen is when good people begin to participate.
Okay.
in politics.
Just yes. More to that. 2023 is just by the corner.
Yes.
What major development or change would you really wish happen come 2023?
Well, I actually, it goes beyond wish. I will, in my own way, in my own part, I will play my part in ensuring a complete change in the paradigm of the way Nigerian politics is played. Look, we've been in this circle since 1999, from one to one, and things have not changed. We were promised change in 2015, and well, I'm sure they did their best to do some change, but I think what the Nigerians want now goes beyond that change. Okay. They want that change to translate into better living for them. And so for that reason, I'm interested in those who govern us. And I will not only participate in voting, where I have influence to influence the right people to be put there, I will.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Finally, sir, what's your end note or remarks, or let's put it this way, your advice to the young people out there, you know, many of whom are wishing to be like you someday?
You see, my life is about inspiring young people. Okay. In fact, that is why I chronicled my life and put it in a book for us. My experiences I put here. First, I recommend that young people should try and get this book.
Yes.
Two, I was telling you shortly ago that we must devolve our work. The gift that God has put in us, we must identify it and deploy it to the benefit of mankind. You see, we have a lot of graduates out there. Every day in this office, young people come. The ones I can engage, I engage. But how many can we engage? I need young people to stop seeing themselves as people who are looking for employment, but to now see themselves as people who are seeking to deploy themselves.
Great.
Okay? That gift that God has put in you, the Zuckerbergs of this world, Zuckerberg is not even really a university graduate, so to speak, but he was able to develop Facebook. There are so many young people who develop apps just on their phones. There was a time when I was director in Ondo State. I gave a talk on the radio, and I was telling young people, look, they were gathered in the set. They were asking questions, and I was fielding those questions, and I told them that, look, the tendency is for young people to say we don't have capital, we don't have money. And I said, look, I can look at your house. All of you have phones. Some of them are iPhones. All the phones there is no phone there that didn't cost 20,000 naira, 30,000 naira, so on. I said, with this phone, the money you used to buy this phone, you can use it to set up a fish farm. Then they were selling this plastic tank for 12,000. And you can buy 1,000 fingerlings for less than 2,000. And you don't need space. Anywhere you are living, just put the tank behind you and put 1,000 fingerlings there. With the remaining 10,000, you buy feed. That will feed the bird, feed the fish. In 3 months, you are harvesting. Look, when you harvest, you make profit, you plow in the profit. Before you know it, you become an entrepreneur. I gave an example, just let me indulge you. Yeah. I gave a vivid example in this book. I spoke about 2 teachers. I was just picturing. See, 2 teachers, one, they are teaching in different schools, the same salary and everything, in the same community. One goes to work in the morning, comes back by 2 o'clock, looks for newspapers, sits down, crosses his leg, reads the newspaper, and then turns on the TV, and then it is dinner, gets dinner and goes to bed. But one comes back by 2 o'clock, he takes small siesta, by 4 o'clock he's out in a farm, small farm, behind him, farming it, doing all this stuff, and gradually is growing. If that teacher that goes to work and comes back and reads newspaper and watches news, and when he dies, people will say, he's destined to be a teacher. But you see, that one that goes to farm, he farmed it into an extent, he got a small loan, expanded it. The next thing, look, you can do it. All you need is to commit yourself to it. That look at you, Marcus. Sure. Your story should alone inspire these children. Look, if these children's tomorrow is guaranteed, we are all guaranteed.
Sure.
And forget when they say children are the leaders of tomorrow. It is not semantic, it is the truth. But the children must take their destinies in their hand. I like what happened during the NSAS. And I can see such kind of movement
Happening again.
Yes.
Yes.
So, keep it up.
Thank you very much. You agree with me, a viewer, that it's been an interesting and awesome moment with Marcus Ekure today, and the story, I believe you've been inspired by the story of Engineer Dr. Emmanuel Audu-Ohwavborua today. Now, what he is saying simply is, you too can also inspire somebody. You know, that with wings, there are no barriers. So, every youth can actually fly. So, believe so much in yourself. You know, thanks for staying tuned to us. Keep watching METV. If you've not subscribed, kindly do so, and encourage your friends to do so too. Thank you very much, and stay in touch. Bye for now.